And now for our feature presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Call in to join the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Welcome to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo in the studio with Mark Lee, and we welcome you to yet another exciting episode of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo, and as always, from NJ to NC, I'm in the studio with my right-hand man, Mark Lee. So, Mark, tell me what's good in your neck of the woods, my brother.
Well, for one thing, you know it's summer, and summer can only mean one thing. It is still hot. It is hot as all get out here in North Carolina. It is definitely some toasty weather, but, you know, there's some toasty stuff going on in politics as well, because we got, you know, we always talk about that idiot is doing idiotic things. He's retweeting conspiracy theories. You know, one of the people that knew both him and the Clintons was died of a suicide, and he's over there retweeting conspiracy theories, and even his own people are like, wait a minute, you got to, like, stop the madness.
Right. You know what? It is very possible for an individual to take his own life. Is not, for those of us who have worked in that environment, we understand that it's very possible. There is no conspiracy. You know, some people get out before they get caught. So, you know, hey, man, it was the end result of a whole bunch of bad decisions. So he's gone, man. I mean, let's move on to something that matters now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We got to move on to things. We got to move on to things that are more important than this. But I just thought that was crazy that he said there and retweeted what his own folks were like. Wait a minute, there's no basis for this, and he's over there retweeting this mess like there's a basis for it. But we know that he's known to do some crazy things in the first part and everything. But on a more positive note, and I got to give a shout out to my good friends that organized Black August in the park. That thing was jam-packed. Me and my buddy Ray Pascal, we didn't get there till toward the latter end of it, but there had to have been multiple thousands of people there. Derek Beasley, who's been on the show, Joshua Gunn, who was definitely talking about it when we had him last week, and it was just wonderful seeing our people out there, you know, just having a good time, you know, listening to some music, getting some dance on, supporting some nonprofit organizations that are about good works and things of that nature. So it was just a real positive environment. A lot of great food trucks were there. I did indulge in one or two of those. So it was definitely a wonderful time that was there, and definitely was well worth checking out the environment and seeing what was happening. I'm glad that I made it there, and like I said, wish I had been able to stay there a little bit longer and a little bit had a little bit more time to enjoy what was going on. But definitely people were celebrating our culture and celebrating what we're all about, and I think this is their fifth year doing it, and it can only grow bigger and better every year. So I definitely have to give kudos to Derek Beasley, Joshua Gunn, Moses Ocello, and a lot of other folks, the sisters from Spirit House, and a lot of other folks that were involved in helping to plan this major event, and they definitely did a great job and things of that nature. So they deserve a good shout out because it was just an amazing event, and just seeing you know, our folks in all shapes and sizes, all hues and everything. Yes, there were even people of other cultures that came to enjoy some of what was going on. This was called Black August in the Park, and it was definitely a majority of us in the audience, but that does not mean that other cultures were not there. I know I saw a couple of folks that were of European descent, definitely some of Asian descent. So even though we're celebrating our culture, you know, a lot of times they are also very appreciative of our culture as well. So it was definitely a well-attended event. As far as I know, there were no incidences whatsoever. You know, so anytime you got that kind of thing going on, and with what's been happening in the world, there was concern about security. I did see some Facebook posts where people were concerned about that. But, you know, at the end of the day, they all came out, had a good time, and definitely was well worth that event happening. And like I said, they got some other events that will be taking place during the course of the year, and then they'll of course have Black August in the park again next year. But definitely, whenever I hear of their events, I'm trying to make it to them and give support to what they're all about. They're doing some real positive and wonderful things.
Well, that's nice, and especially when you have an event that is, I would say, sucker free. You know what I mean? Like, big shout out to the township of Willingboro, New Jersey. They had a whole weekend centered around the jazz festival. Friday night was a bowling event. Saturday was a comedy show, and then yesterday, from the afternoon going into the evening, was the 30th anniversary of the Jazz Fest. I wasn't able to make it, but by looking at my timeline, a whole bunch of folks had an outstanding time. So I plan to be there in 2020, but we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? It's always a good thing when individuals are able to come together in fellowship without any drama, without any headache, and especially without any heartache. So great job to them, going on. Now,
yeah, definitely. I'm glad that they had a great event, and definitely glad that they were able to do that, because those kind of events, we need more of those kind of positive events, whether it's here, whether it's in New Jersey or wherever. I did not want to let you think that it was just fun and games, because there was also some seminars and some things about, I think everything from creating your business to some other more important issues that were addressed at the Black August in the Park. So that actually wound up being, I want to say, almost a 3 or 4 day event, because there was a variety of things that were going on. The big event was, of course, on Saturday, but they did have some workshops and some lectures. And like I said, some of our past guests were even people that were involved in what they did and everything. So definitely a great shout out to what happened both in your neck of the woods as well as what happened here.
Oh, yeah. And there's more great things to come. It just, as the year progresses, so we take it week by week and wait to find out what's going to happen in the following weeks that we can all enjoy and take a part in,
Yep, definitely. Now, on a sadder note, I do have to report some sad notes that happened. We did talk last week about Captain Newborn, a good friend whose brother had that stroke, and that unfortunately the brother did not make it. He did pass away, so Captain Newborn is dealing with the loss of that and his only brother. He has 3 sisters, and as I stated last week, one of the sisters had already passed of a stroke, so I think he's lost 2 of his siblings to strokes now, but that brother did pass away. Apparently they took him off life support, and he only lasted, I want to say he said, less than 5 to 10 minutes. So, even though the doctors were saying that it could have been, days, could have been weeks, could have been months, apparently it was not that long after they took him off life support that he passed away. And you remember we had T. Naomi Lucas on, the founder of Southern Wicked Lemonade, and she just recently lost her mother. And I know that can be, I'm fortunate to have both of my parents still living, but I know from friends that have lost their parents, that can be a very difficult time when you lose a loved one of any sort, and definitely a parent. So our condolences do go out to Miss T. Naomi Lucas, the founder of Southern Wicked Lemonade, and what she's been going through as she's dealing with the passing of her mother onto the ancestral ground. So definitely can understand the sympathies that she is getting, and the fact that a lot of people are reaching out to her and, trying to give her whatever kind of comfort they can give her during this time of hard times and everything. And, we talked about Phil Freelon not that long ago, and how his had passed and had impacted a lot of people, but they are still moving on. I saw a post recently where Maya, his daughter, was thanking his mother for coming out and performing at a jazz event. I want to say it was somewhere in the Northeast, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But then I also saw that his son, and he has 2 sons, Pierce, and I forget the other son's name, but that the Pierce is actually going to be running, and we've had Pierce on this show as well. He's going to be running for state senator. So he announced that on Facebook and things of that nature. So he has announced that he is definitely running for state senator, and we're going to wish him a lot of luck in that endeavor. He definitely even acknowledged that that was something that I think he thought that his dad would get behind him and everything in doing if he was still living. So I saw that on Facebook. I'm actually trying to pull it up and everything right now, but definitely he did make an announcement that he was going to be running to represent this area in the North Carolina area and everything. As a matter of fact, I just pulled up the page right here. It says Pierce Freelon for North Carolina. So he is running to be our state senator, and I think that he would do a wonderful job. I think that he's definitely got some great ideas. He says, I am proud to announce, and he just made this announcement on August 9th, so this is actually fairly new news. I'm proud to announce that I am running for North Carolina State Senate. My wife and I are lifelong residents of Senate District 20 and the parents of two beautiful children who are also born and raised here. It would be a privilege to serve the community, which has given our family so much. I have spent the last several months of my life caring for my father, Phil Freelon, who passed away from ALS on July 9th. Dad had so much gratitude for living in Durham, where he received the best care in the world, but is also deeply saddened because tens of thousands of North Carolinians have been blocked from access to quality health care. North Carolina was just ranked the second worst state in America for health care. I find this infuriating and unacceptable. I'm running for state senate because the city of Medicine should be a leader in the fight for Medicaid expansion. I'm running because we need millennials to show up big in 2020 if we're going to shift the political landscape of this country. I'm running to fight gerrymandering and to end voter suppression. I'm running to decriminalize marijuana in North Carolina. I'm running because we need a champion of progressive values in Raleigh. I'm running because I promised my father I'd fight to ensure all North Carolinians have access to health care. So that's what he's put out on his announcement on Facebook, and I'm sure that was similar to announcements that he made elsewhere as well. So definitely is running on some very progressive issues, and I, for one, am wishing him all the luck in that campaign. I'm not sure who he's running against, but I do think that he would definitely be a strong candidate.
Oh, definitely, and running on a platform that matters to most people, not just some or a few. You know, and a lot of times individuals have ideas, but they only will help some. And when I say some, I mean a very few select individuals who are connected to certain people. So when you come in and you have what they would consider being radical, it's not. It's just being practical and saying, hey, y'all, these are the things that we all, you know, it can help us all. You never know when you'll be in a situation where you'll need some help. And if they get it done, it'll help, you know what I mean? Rather than
definitely
just a couple of people being benefiting from whatever it is that they have.
That is very true. You know, another interesting article that I saw in today's paper, I wanted to know what you thought about this because you work in criminal justice, but there's a recent study out that says that more black teens are attempting suicide. It says depression doesn't discriminate. So there's an article, and they, of course, have like somebody that they talk about that apparently was going through that concept of considering suicide, and this particular article is focusing on a person named Destiny Ivy. But it says that according to a new study, suicides among African-American teenagers increased 60% for males and 182% for females from 2001 to 2017. The study, based on data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, reported over 68,000 black males and nearly 95,000 black female teens made a suicide attempt serious enough to require medical attention in 2017 alone. Most didn't succeed, but more than 300 did. So unfortunately, North Carolina is fourth in the nation for number of black teens committing suicide, behind Georgia, Texas, and Florida. So definitely it's a very touching issue that's impacting a lot of people, and something that we probably need to address and things of that nature. I know that you've done work with groups that are working with our youth up there, so I was just wondering what some of your comments were, because it says by the mid-1990s, suicide had become the third leading cause of death for black youth 15 to 19 years old. In 2017, black high school students in North Carolina attempted suicide at more than twice the rate of white high school students, 11.1 versus 5.1, according to the North Carolina Child Health Report Card. So that's just some of the stats that are going on here, but I'm sure that there might be similar stats even around the country and around the maybe even around the